There is a quiet scandal happening right now across Britain. Billions of pounds, money that belongs to ordinary pensioners, is sitting in government accounts unclaimed. Not because people don't qualify, but because nobody told them. Right now, around 1 million pensioners are missing out on a payment worth nearly £3,000 a year. Number 4 on this list can wipe your council tax bill to zero and be backdated for years. And number 3 has already paid some people over £12,000 in one lump sum. These are not handouts. They are entitlements you have already paid for through a lifetime of work. Before we start, hit subscribe, because what you learn today could put real money back in your pocket. Let us count down the 25 payments they never advertise. Number 25. The Christmas bonus. Let's begin with the one almost everyone forgets exists. Every December, the DWP pays a one-off, tax-free Christmas bonus of £10 to people receiving the state pension and a handful of other benefits. £10. It sounds almost insulting today, and here is the truly remarkable part. That figure has not changed since 1972. When it was introduced, £10 could fill your larder for Christmas week. Now it barely buys a turkey crown. Most pensioners receive it automatically if they are on the state pension during the first full week of December, appearing on the bank statement as DWPXB. But if it does not arrive by early January, you can chase the pension service. It may be small, but it is yours, and a payment that small surviving 50 years tells you everything about how these things get quietly forgotten. Number 24. The cold weather payment. When the temperature in your area drops to 0 degrees or below for 7 days in a row, the government is supposed to pay you £25 to help with the heating. It runs every winter from the 1st of November to the end of March. The catch is that you only get it if you are already receiving pension credit or certain other benefits, which is exactly why claiming pension credit matters so much. And we will come back to that. You do not apply. It lands automatically within a couple of weeks of the cold snap. Most people never realize they qualified because they never claimed the gateway benefit that unlocks it. A frozen week in January should mean £25 in your account. For thousands, it simply never comes. Number 23. The free older person's bus pass. Every person of state pension age in England is entitled to free off-peak bus travel anywhere in the country, and in London, you can travel free at almost any time with the 60+ Oyster card. In Scotland and Wales, the age threshold is even lower. Yet councils do not knock on your door to hand you one. You have to apply through your local authority, usually online or at the library, and a surprising number of pensioners simply never bother, assuming it is automatic or not worth the trouble. For someone making 2 return trips a week, that pass is worth hundreds of pounds a year in fares never paid. It is the single most generous travel concession in the country, and it is sitting there waiting for an application that never gets made. Number 22. The free TV license for the over 75s. Here is one that catches people out badly. A TV license now costs around £174 a year, and watching live telly or BBC iPlayer without one is a criminal offence. Years ago, every over 75 got their licence free. That ended. Today, you only get it free if you are 75 or over, and you, or a partner you live with, receive pension credit. And here is the cruel twist that the DWP does not shout about. Because so many people fail to claim pension credit, they also fail to claim the free license that comes bolted onto it. So they keep paying £174 a year out of a tiny fixed income when one phone call could make both disappear. The license covers everyone at your address, whatever their age. Number 21. Marriage allowance. This one is not strictly a benefit, but a tax break, and it is missed by hundreds of thousands of older couples. If one of you earns below the personal tax allowance, say one partner has only a small private pension, you can transfer part of your unused allowance to the other. The result is up to £252 a year knocked off the household tax bill. Better still, you can backdate the claim up to 4 years, which can mean a cheque for over £1,000 landing in one go. HMRC will not set this up for you. You apply yourself on the government website, it takes minutes, and yet because nobody explains it, vast numbers of married and civil partnered pensioners are handing the taxman money they were never required to pay. Number 20. Blind person's allowance. If you are registered blind or severely sight impaired, you are entitled to an extra slice of tax-free income over £3,000 on top of your normal personal allowance. And if your own income is too low to use it all, the unused part can be transferred to your spouse, exactly like marriage allowance. It is one of the most generous tax reliefs going for older people with serious sight loss and one of the least publicised. People register as blind with the council for support and mobility help, never realising there is a tax advantage attached. It does not happen automatically. You have to tell HMRC. Thousands who qualify have simply never been told it exists. Number 19. VAT relief on disability equipment. Here is a quiet one that adds up over the years. If you have a long-term illness or disability, you should not be paying VAT on equipment designed to help you. Things like riser-recliner chairs, walk-in baths, wheelchairs, stair lifts, adjustable beds, and mobility scooters. The supplier zero rates it, knocking 20% off the price. But, and this is the part they rely on, you usually have to declare your eligibility at the point of sale by signing a simple form. Forget to mention it, and you pay the full whack. Many shops will not volunteer the discount unless you raise it first. On a stair lift costing thousands, that 20% is a serious sum, and it is yours by right the moment you ask. Number 18. Water Shore and Water Social Tariffs. Water bills are not means tested by default, so a pensioner on a tight budget can end up paying the same as a wealthy household. But almost every water company runs a social tariff, and there is a national scheme called Water Shore that caps the bills of low-income metered customers who use a lot of water for medical reasons or because of a large household. These schemes can slice hundreds off the annual bill. Water companies do not chase you to apply. You have to ring them and ask what help is available, mention you are a pensioner on a low income, and the cheaper tariff appears. It is one of the easiest savings on this list and one of the most consistently overlooked. Number 17. The Warm Home Discount. Every winter, eligible households get a one-off £150 knocked straight off their electricity bill. For pensioners, the gateway is, once again, pension credit, in particular the guarantee element. If you qualify, in most cases your energy supplier applies it automatically and you get a letter between November and January. But if you are eligible and the letter never comes, the money does not chase you. There is a helpline and a deadline of late February each year to sort it. £150 at the coldest, most expensive point of the year is not to be sniffed at. Yet it sits unclaimed in thousands of homes, simply because the underlying benefit was never put in place. Number 16. The Household Support Fund. Now here is where it gets interesting, because this one does not even come from the DWP directly. Central government hands money to local councils, and councils quietly distribute it as grants to struggling households, often £200 to £600 towards food, heating and essentials. The problem is that there is no national advert, no letter, no automatic payment. Each council runs its own version, with its own form buried somewhere on its website and its own deadline. If you do not go looking, you will never know it existed. Search your council's name plus the words Household Support Fund or Local Welfare Assistance, and you may find hundreds of pounds you had no idea you could ask for. Number 15. Help with NHS costs through the low-income scheme. People assume pensioners get everything on the NHS for free. Not quite. Dental treatment, glasses and travel to hospital appointments can still cost real money. If you receive pension credit guarantee credit, those are free outright. But if you are just above that line, on a modest income, there is a separate scheme, the NHS Low-Income Scheme, where you fill in a form called HC1 and may receive a certificate that covers your costs in full or in part. Hardly anyone knows it exists. Pensioners go without new glasses or put off dental work to save money, never realizing a single form could have the NHS pick up the bill. Number 14. Free eye tests and free prescriptions. Linked to that, here are two everyone over a certain age is entitled to, but many still get wrong. Once you turn 60, your eye tests are free on the NHS, full stop, and your prescriptions are free too. People in their late 50s keep paying the prescription charge right up until the day they realize, often years too late, that they crossed the free threshold long ago. Opticians should remind you, but they do not always. And free eye tests matter for more than money, because that test catches glaucoma, cataracts, and even signs of diabetes early. It costs you nothing, and skipping it because you think you must pay is exactly the kind of small, silent loss this whole list is about. Number 13. The Disabled Facilities Grant. This is a big one that almost nobody talks about. If you, or someone in your household, needs your home adapted because of a disability, a stair lift, a downstairs bathroom, widened doors, a ramp, ground floor living, your council can give you a grant of up to £30,000 in England to pay for the work. Not a loan, a grant. It is means tested on income and savings. But for many pensioners on modest means, the council covers most or all of it. The reason so few claim is that the process runs through the council and an occupational therapist assessment, and people assume adaptations are something they must pay for themselves out of savings they cannot spare. Tens of thousands of pounds of help going begging. Number 12. The council tax disability band reduction. Separate from any other discount, if your home has had to be adapted for a disabled resident, an extra bathroom, a room used for treatment, or space to use a wheelchair indoors, your council can move your property down a band for council tax purposes. A Band D home is charged as if it were Band C. That can be a few £100s off every single year, for as long as you live there. It is one of the most obscure reductions in the entire system, buried in regulations most council staff rarely mention, and it stacks on top of other discounts. If your home was changed to cope with disability, this is worth a phone call. Number 11. Support for mortgage interest. Many pensioners still carry a mortgage into retirement, and money is tightest exactly when the regular wage stops. If you receive pension credit, the government can help cover the interest on your mortgage through a scheme called Support for Mortgage Interest. It is now a loan, repaid from your estate or when the house is sold, which is precisely why so many people decline it, not realizing it can keep a roof over their head during the hardest years. It is not free money, but for a pensioner struggling with interest payments on a fixed income, it can be the difference between staying in the family home and losing it. Hardly anyone is told it is even an option. Number 10. The funeral expenses payment. Nobody wants to think about this, which is exactly why it goes unclaimed. If you are on pension credit or certain other benefits and you are responsible for arranging the funeral of a close relative or partner, the government can help with the costs, the burial or cremation fees, and a contribution towards other expenses. In Scotland, it is called the funeral support payment. Grieving families, overwhelmed and assuming they must shoulder thousands of pounds alone, take out loans or go into debt, never realizing that real help was available. It will not cover everything, but it takes the sharpest edge off the cost at the worst possible moment, and you have months after the funeral to claim it. Number 9. Carers credit. Here is one for the millions of pensioners and near pensioners quietly caring for a spouse or relative. If you care for someone at least 20 hours a week but you are not yet at pension age, Carers credit fills the gaps in your national insurance record, protecting your own future state pension without you paying a penny. It is not a cash payment, it is a credit, and that is exactly why it gets ignored. People give up work to care for a loved one, never realizing those caring years are punching holes in their own pension entitlement, holes this credit was designed to plug. Years later, they retire on a reduced pension that could have been protected the whole time for free. Number 8. Carers allowance and the carer addition. If you are under state pension age and care for someone for at least 35 hours a week, carers allowance pays you around £83 a week in your own right. But here is the part that catches older carers out. Once you reach pension age, your state pension usually stops you being paid carers allowance directly, the cruel overlapping benefits rule. What people miss is that having an underlying entitlement to it can unlock a carer addition worth around £46 a week extra on your pension credit. So even when the cash payment stops, the entitlement still opens a door. Carers, run ragged looking after a loved one, almost never know that door is there. Number 7. The winter fuel payment and the Scottish version. This one made headlines, then quietly came back. For winter 2025 into 2026, all pensioners in England and Wales receive a winter fuel payment of £200, rising to £300, where someone in the household is aged 80 or over. The only sting is that if your income is over £35,000 a year, HMRC claws it back through the tax system. In Scotland, it has become the pension age winter heating payment, worth up to around £305. Most get it automatically, but a few slip through the cracks, particularly anyone who deferred their state pension or is not in the system, and they have until the end of March to claim. If you are a pensioner and it never arrived, do not assume you were skipped on purpose. Chase it. Number 6. Housing benefit for pensioners. Now, controversy incoming. Because the rules here are changing and that creates confusion, the system never bothers to clear up. If you are over state pension age and you rent your home, housing benefit can pay some or all of your rent, and it is far more generous for pensioners than the working age system that replaced it for everyone else. Yet huge numbers of older renters never claim, convinced it is for younger people, or that owning a bit of savings rules them out. It does not. For pensioners, the savings rules are kinder. Alongside pension credit, this is one of the most valuable pots of money in the entire system, and on average more than £3.5 billion of it and related support goes unclaimed by older people every single year. Number 5. Council tax reduction. Council tax is one of the heaviest bills a pensioner pays, and yet many on low incomes are entitled to have it cut, sometimes to nothing. Every council runs its own council tax reduction or support scheme, and pensioners get more protection in those schemes than working-age claimants do. If you are on Pension Credit Guarantee credit, you may pay no council tax at all. The reason it goes unclaimed is depressingly simple. It is run by your local council, not the DWP, so it sits outside the main benefits conversation entirely, and you have to apply to the council yourself. People struggle to find hundreds of pounds for a bill they could have legally reduced to zero, because nobody joined the dots for them. Number 4. The severe mental impairment council tax exemption. This is the one that genuinely shocks people, and it is among the most underclaimed of all. If someone in the household has a condition that causes severe and permanent impairment of intelligence and social functioning, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or the after effects of a stroke, and a doctor certifies it, and they are entitled to a qualifying benefit such as attendance allowance, they are disregarded for council tax. If they live alone, the home becomes fully exempt, zero council tax. If they live with one other adult, it drops by 25%. And here is the staggering part. It can be backdated to when the impairment began, sometimes years, meaning refunds running into thousands of pounds. Families care for a loved one with dementia for years, paying full council tax the whole time, never told this existed. A GP's certificate is free, the exemption is the law, almost nobody claims it. Number 3. State pension back payments. Now we reach the money the DWP has actually been forced to admit it owes. Over recent years, the department uncovered enormous errors in how state pensions were calculated, and it has been paying people back ever since. Married women whose pensions should have risen when their husbands retired, widows who never received the uplift they inherited, people over 80 entitled to a basic pension they were never given, and huge numbers, mostly women, with gaps where home responsibilities protection was never recorded on their national insurance file. The DWP has identified well over 100,000 underpayments, paying back hundreds of millions of pounds, with individual checks ranging from a couple of thousand to over £12,000. Most people receiving the right amount have nothing to worry about. But if you are a woman who retired under the old system, a widow, or over 80, it is absolutely worth checking because the people owed this money were not told. They had to find out. Number 2. Attendance allowance. This is the giant that hides in plain sight. Attendance allowance is for anyone over state pension age who needs help or supervision because of a physical or mental health condition. From April 2026, it pays £76.70 a week at the lower rate and £114.60 a week at the higher rate. That is over £5,500 a year, tax-free, paid every 4 weeks. And here is what stops people claiming. They think it is means tested. It is not. Your income and savings make no difference whatsoever. They think you need a specific diagnosis. You do not. It is about how your condition affects you, not its name. They think needing help at night means physical care, when simply needing someone awake to keep you safe with dementia or epilepsy can count. Worse, claiming it can trigger extra money on pension credit and wipe out your council tax through the exemption we just covered. It is the key that unlocks half this list, and it goes massively unclaimed because the form looks daunting and nobody explains how it really works. Number 1. Pension credit. And finally, in first place, the single most underclaimed payment in Britain, the one charities have been screaming about for years. Pension credit tops up the weekly income of the poorest pensioners to a guaranteed minimum, around £238 a week for a single person. And it is worth, on average, about £3,900 a year. Around 1 million eligible pensioners do not claim it, leaving roughly £3 billion sitting unclaimed every year. People assume their small savings rule them out. Savings under £10,000 are completely ignored. They assume the state pension is too high to qualify. It often is not, especially with the extra amounts for disability or caring. And many simply feel a stigma about claiming a means-tested benefit they have every right to. But pension credit is not just the money itself. It is the master key. It unlocks the free TV license, the warm home discount, cold weather payments, council tax help, NHS dental costs, and more. A single 20-minute phone call to 0800 99 1234 can be worth thousands of pounds a year, and you can backdate it 3 months. If you take one thing from this entire video, it is this: check. Or check for your mum, your dad, your neighbour. So there it is. 25 payments, allowances and exemptions that the system never advertises and rarely chases you to claim. The truth nobody says out loud is simple. The money is there, it is yours, and the only thing standing between you and it is a phone call or a form. Pick one this week. Check your pension credit. Ring about attendance allowance. Ask the council about that exemption. Then come back and tell me in the comments which one you or someone you love finally claimed. Because the worst outcome is not failing to qualify. It is qualifying for years and never knowing it.